What you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths. It is all the more tragic in that they were young.
You are fake news.
Sir,
go ahead.
Can you stay?
Hey everyone, and welcome back. Now, taking a look at the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, we can see a massive social connection and historical context. That's where the bulk of this video will be. Taking a look at surface tension, which is, your plot settings and characters. So, looking at the setting, this has to have taken place in a small town. Like, movie-wise. Otherwise, it wouldn't have had as big of an impact as it did. Why? This story takes place in Texas, the state that has the...
Bottle of Jack Daniels, please.
Here you go.
Thanks. What's this?
That's your gun. Buy some liquor, get a free gun.
Is that like a special you have on now or something?
Nope. Texas state law. You have a nice day now.
In which everyone and their dog should carry a gun, and this horrible incident happened to them. Texas is technically America, so American laws should apply. However, it's also close to Mexico, where college-age kids can get 2 pounds of pot, the most hardcore of drugs, and still have enough money to make a cross-country trip for front-row tickets to a Leonard Skinner concert.
Big wheels keep on turning.
Can somebody please make her stop singing?
Now, I did a little research here. Standard tickets cost $6 in 1974, which would be roughly $30 today, but looking at them, that seems to be a lot of money for them anyway. Looking at the average street price for pot in the US in 1974, it was roughly $10 an ounce. And they bought...
It's not like we don't have 2 pounds of
What did you say?
I don't remember.
2 pounds of pot? 2 pounds of pot?
That means they spent $320 on pot, roughly $1,500 today, which means they spent $18 on tickets because there was one hitchhiker they just picked up the day before, and $320 on pot. These numbers seem, I'll be honest, these numbers seem kind of pricey. My research may be wonky on this, but I doubled and triple checked it. However, assuming my information is correct, if it's not, feel free. So why does any of that matter? Well, to connect it to the audience both of the time and here, but we'll get to that in a minute. So, crime doesn't pay. Just ask the sheriff, who lost his shit when he found the drugs in the car.
I don't know where he is anymore.
Somebody want to explain this?
No.
No.
I smell bullshit.
Get out of the van! Out! On your face! All 3 of you!
You could probably chalk that up to him being corrupt, but that's beside the point. It's pretty accurate for the time, and it's deliberately brutal for the video, which actually leads us into the audience connect. This movie takes place in the 1970s, but it's filmed in 2003, which means everything of the time is being viewed through a modern lens. Do you know what that does? Causes events to be blown out of proportion. So, were the police officers violent in the 1970s? Yeah, especially when drugs were involved. Now, the notion that they were corrupt in a small town to kill everyone? Nope, that's for the movie, obviously. However, the perversion of the town was just disturbing. I found most of the eerie feeling came from that, the uncanny behavior of the townsfolk, not from Leatherface himself. Why would the audience care? Horror is directed at teens. These kids are teen-ish, and they do teen stuff. Also pot, but you can see my Friday the 13th video for pot's placement in horror. I'll give a short summary for 2003. This is the 1970s remake. Pot was horrible back then because of the war on drugs, and it was the cheapest, so it was the worst. That's why it was hated so much. The gateway drug. That's all. So, taking a look at this story historically. People will tell you it's based on a true story. That's only slightly true. This movie is inspired by a true person. Not a true story or account. This is based on Ed Gein, an American murderer who would turn people into leather-based items. He did cut off the face of people, which is where the leather face came from. The good news is he's dead, and there isn't some chainsaw killer running around Texas, or wherever you may live. By the way, that chainsaw was absolutely ridiculous. I'm just going to critique that for a second. It behaved as if it was always revving. And I don't know if you've ever held a chainsaw, it just doesn't do that. The strange thing about the killer was how he acted, like he was human, because he was. He made noise, and he could be injured. Looking at Friday the 13th, because it's a slasher too, Jason was Mr. Invincible, not Leatherface over there. Why? He's based on a person. You can argue since he was injured, he had his arm cut off, and he still kept going, that he was invincible. He still had his arm cut off and screamed. Jason never made a noise, except grunting, because he was in pain. Leatherface is not only based on a person, but he's based on a person who was caught, unlike what the movie said, but someone who died and has been... Now, I mentioned audience. So the audience of this movie is always viewed in a maximum of 3 ways. In this case, the film has all 3. The first is the target audience for when the movie released, which were teens in 2003. The second would be those who relate to the movie from an experience view, which are teens, college students from the 1970s. So they'd be like in their 50s now. Lastly, the audience of which are a specific demographic is the second target. So select audience would be teens, young adults age 16 to 25. That's the target group. Also, they're male. Cool, right? Guess who those young boys are going to bring with them? Girls, stereotypically. And that's where the second or hidden demographic comes in. Considering there is absolutely no minorities in the film, target audience is white. What's the point? Well, the main thing about the teens is to be as generic as possible. Think about it for a second. They're going to a concert, see a hitchhiker, she kills herself. Extreme. But that's the beginning premise that this "it could happen to me" feel. To go on, they seek help. The town sucks. Grabby old men, grabby sheriff. Ugh. And the first cultural rule: respect your elders. And the first guy dies because he disobeyed. Now
Excuse me, sir. No. All wrong. All wrong. All wrong.
Oh
no.
God, not you again.
I'll do this since you seem to not be able to do it properly. That's not why he died. He died because there would be an emotional connection. Didn't you see The Ring? This was so the audience could cry a little.
Yeah, I'm gonna cut you off and say that's not true. Why would we develop an emotional connection to a character who we've seen for like 20 minutes? Exactly. Plus, in the beginning, we even heard...
The film which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths. 5 youths. 5 youths.
And that should have led us to think they would all die. He broke a cardinal cultural rule and died for it. Everything else was for going against authority.
But the authority was evil.
And enough of you. Go. Shoo. No, duh, he was evil. That's why he was crazy. That and the... Oh God, make it stop. Oh God. He was so uncanny, and that's why he was able to be killed. He was literally the embodiment of the corrupt cop. I'm not going to stretch that anymore. Leave that for the comments section. Alrighty guys, thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more videos. Feel free to share the video if you'd be so kind, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace.